Facing historically their favourite opponent. They've won 14 out of the 27 previous meetings, including in round 4. It was a 1-0 win up in Gosford. A rare defeat at home for the Central Coast. Let's check the team news, and there's a bit to get through. The Wanderers making 4 changes, including the return of Bernie Abini to the starting lineup. He's provided 5 assists this season. James Troisi comes back into midfield. There's no Graham Dorrans due to suspension, of course. Nikolai Muller, who scored that winner when the teams met in January, is a starter again, the German international, while Mark Natter has recovered from concussion sustained against Melbourne City to replace Tas Mudakudis in defence. The Central Coast Mariners, well, they're coming off that win over Adelaide United, which ended a 3-game winless run, and they are unchanged. But Ruan Tonic, it's a milestone night for him, his 50th A-League game, 25 of those with the Central Coast Mariners. And what a season he is having alongside Kai Rolls in the heart of defence. So the Mariners in their change strip, the Wanderers back in black and red. And there's a bit of a grand final reunion potentially tonight for 3 Mariners who won that 2013 grand final 8 years ago this month. Mitch Duke, Bernie Abini and Ollie Bozanic were all teammates, of course. Long time ago now, they were fresh-faced at that stage. Now Mitch Duke, 30 years of age, Abini 28, and Ollie Bozanic, the captain of the Mariners, 32 years young, closing in on 150 A-League games. The Mariners won that grand final 2-0 over Western Sydney at the end of that amazing inaugural campaign for the Wanderers. There's Keanu Bacchus. Plenty asked of him in midfield tonight in the absence of Dorrans, as Nikolai Muller kicks things off in Tuesday night football and looking to get straight on the front foot at Bank West, Western Sydney. What are you anticipating from this game, Andy?
Well, I'm anticipating the Mariners to be extremely combative. It's been the cornerstone of their successful run thus far. And for the Wanderers to get a bit of swagger about them. I think they, along with Wellington, lit the league up here a couple of weeks ago in that epic 4-3 game. And it's been fits and starts since for the red and black. They're very impressive when they get it together, but I don't think they get it together enough. And that'll be their challenge tonight against the league leaders, the Central Coast Mariners.
And trying to win 3 home games in a row for the first time in more than 5 years, the Wanderers. Not since the old Wonderland have they won 3 in a row. It was a 5-game streak, in fact, back in late 2015. Orania waited. Troisi pounced. Immediately got it to the feet of Mitch Duke, who fires one out in front of Wilmering and asks too much of the left wingback.
So the good and the bad early for Western Sydney. James Troisi very sharp in the challenge on Orania to win the ball for the Wanderers, and as the field opened up, Mitch Duke sprays the ball over the touchline.
McGowan able to tidy up. Ziggy Gordon was public enemy #1 last time these teams met in Gosford after signing a contract extension with the Mariners in November and then jumping ship and joining Western Sydney in December. Stretches again here. Imagine what the Mariners might be doing if Ziggy Gordon had stayed with them.
Or maybe...
Would they be even better or not?
Well, that's the moot point. Who would he dislodge? Kyle Robinson got his man, but who would he dislodge in the centre of the Mariners' defence, if indeed he was to be a central defender? And Stefan Negro has done exceptionally well on his return to the A-League as right fullback. So maybe everyone's done well out of the swap.
This man trying to guide the Mariners back into Asia, closing in on 50 games in charge. What a job he is doing this season. Melbourne City breathing down their necks, though. I've been watching last night's game, hoping for Wellington to get something out of that, but in the end Melbourne City won a 5-goal thriller. What a shootout that was in Wollongong last night. This pass from Negro just overhit, intended for Simon, and Daniel Margush receives. He was the star the other night against Brisbane in that 1-1 draw. If he didn't pull off some superb saves, they would have left Queensland with nothing. Not quite kept in by Aquilina. He's the first keeper to make more than 50 saves this season. Daniel Margush has been very busy. What have you made of his campaign? Mark Bosnich, down to you.
Well, good evening to you, Brenton, and Andy, and all our viewers watching everywhere around the world. Yeah, he's been excellent this season, but there's been some fantastic goalkeeping performances as well, and none other than Mark Birigidi as well, who's the goalkeeper for Central Coast. But a wonderful night here, 22 degrees Celsius, hardly any wind. Just a little bit on the ground. The players were told before the game not to warm up for too long because of all the rains that we've had here in New South Wales. The spare grass from when they relay it is completely soaked and muddied, so they're going to have to save this pitch with the amount of traffic they've got on it.
Here's Bowman getting in behind, and great tracking by Natta as the ball bamboozled one of his central defensive partners.
Yeah, the first attack of meaning in the match over the top. McGowan slightly misjudged things, not so Natta, fine young player.
Corner variation, and Dylan McGowan judged that one right. Cleared Bazanic's ball in. They're backing off on Bazanik here, giving him room to try and pick out Simon against Wilmering. He's got the height advantage there. And Mitch Duke this time heading clear of the danger zone. Kai rolls. The campaign he has had to really catch the eye of the Ollie Roos coach Graham Arnold. Might have gone past a few Kai rolls in this Olympic year. Here is again the lefty. Tonic. Negro, chance to go down the line for Bowman, but Bacchus across in time. And Natta with the follow-up work to earn his team the throw.
Well, that's the opportunity that the Mariners will be looking forward to. With the Wanderers playing three at the back, and two wing-backs when Wilmering pushes forward. On the left-hand side in that case, the space in behind him was really attractive to the Mariners. They couldn't quite get the passes to spring the trap completely, but watch for more of that on either side of the field.
Clisby and De Silva unable to work out the little 2-on-1 situation. They're looking a little quicker across the ground, the Mariners, and the late whistle from Chris Beath prevents the corner, which would have been there if Ziggy Gordon hadn't been upended by Urania. Duke's so good at winning those headers. There's Stensness, who's finding his feet again after returning from injury in recent times. Just one win in the past 10 meetings for the Mariners. Round a couple of seasons back now. Aquilina couldn't bring it down for Abini. Just feeling each other out.
The game hasn't settled really at all. The Mariners with a couple of promising efforts into the penalty area, well defended by the Wanderers on each occasion. Here's that space again.
Teammates a little slow in the middle, so Bowman tried to buy some time. Negro's got support behind in the form of Stensness, who looks for Simon. And And Ziggy Gordon heads clear. Lovely touch by Troisi, and the Wanderers look to launch into action. Muller had made a decent run in behind there, but proved difficult for Abini to control under pressure. Bacchus. And Duke just hasn't found his passing game yet.
It's a nervy start by the Wanderers, isn't it? Or it appears to be, in possession. They're closing the ball down well. And they're certainly defending their penalty area well, but in possession they look very jittery, the Wanderers.
Duke normally looks so comfortable here. He's scored 12 goals in 17 games at this venue. And the other place he scored 12 was the Central Coast Stadium as a Mariner. Another pass. Going well wide of its intended target. So is this a legacy of a limited warm-up period on this playing surface? Can we give them that excuse?
No.
Here's Tonic. Space on that right-hand side. Orenia on the play to feet. Negro goes to Bowman instead. De Silva. Simon and Orenia combine. Matt Simon trying to get in behind, and brave goalkeeping by Margush, as is his trademark.
Has good coverage as well. Good tracking by Ziggy Gordon. Keeper was always favoured. Ball a little heavy from Orenia. But a pretty dominant opening 10 minutes from the Mariners, who've certainly settled in possession a lot better than the Wanderers. It's been a procession of passes hit over the sidelines by the home team.
Dominating territory and possession. As you can see, the visitors. Already 9 wins this season. That's more than they tallied in the previous 2 campaigns on their way to collecting the wooden spoons. 4 wins in each of the past 2 seasons. Both of these teams the first to play 16 games this season. Clisby stuck a foot in on Bernie Abini. Little no-looker around the corner to Abini. Natta pushing on for the first time. He's got a lovely left boot, drops it into Duke, who tried to cushion it for Abini.
Best moment of the game, without setting the world on fire, but it just goes to show with completed passes and being sure in control, you can work space. Onto the young central defender Natta, who just let that beautiful left foot of his do the work. Mitch Duke and Bernie Abini just not quite on the same wavelength, but promising otherwise. The most promising moment so far for the Wanderers.
Handball given against Nikolai Muller there after trying to control it. Bounced up into his arm. Mariners start again. Defending with a flat back 5. Simon had his pocket picked by Bacchus. Stensness bailed him out. And Muller came right across the bows of Matt Simon there. Chris Beath fired it into him and says, let's calm everything down and take 2 on the free kick. And Andy Harper, that's one of your...
I don't understand. I mean, IFAB's done a bit of tinkering. I don't know why they changed that and made it acceptable for free kicks just to be stopped. I've never had it explained satisfactorily. Chris Beath had no jurisdiction to do anything more there, but it really is a strange one. Matt Simon of the old school looked to get his opponent into trouble, who'd willfully slowed the restart down. So he agrees with us.
You should have like a letters to the editor section, IFAB. Andy Harper can just write a letter and say, why'd you do this? Because it is ludicrous. We all want to see the game flow. Quickly taken free kicks can help do that.
I'll be interested to know, Bozza, on the playing surface and why both sets of players after 13 minutes have really struggled to settle into any sort of passing rhythm.
Yeah, most definitely about Western Sydney Wanderers, and your point about their, you could say, well, I'll let this go.
Here's Muller. Duke. All action challenge from Negro. Wilmering had moved into a dangerous spot and Negro didn't let it get there.
Yeah, in terms of Western Sydney Wanderers, their passing's been all over the place, and that miniature attack you said before, Harbs, that they had, that was their best part so far. And it's ironic, really, because the first game earlier on in the season, let's not forget as well, out of the 4 losses that Central Coast Mariners will have, one of them was the Western Sydney Wanderers, and they dominated possession in that first encounter. This time, it's the other way around. The other thing from that first encounter is that Central Coast Mariners, if you look at their average positions, they were very, very narrow. Well, so far, their average positions, they've been using those spaces either side of Ziggy Gordon and Mark Natter, which a lot of teams do employ when they're playing against 3 at the back. It is the right thing to do.
Yeah, last time around, as you mentioned, Mark Birighitti was outstanding, part of his spectacular season. In the end, he was beaten after a ball ricocheted into the path of substitute Nikolai Muller on that night for an 83rd minute winner. Joshy Nisbet hit the woodwork when it was 0-0 in that game. Tonic with strength. Given back to Duke by Stensness, though. Stensness gives away the free kick and steps over the ball immediately.
Really close attention from Rowan Tonic. He's set a standard this year. A league-wide standard, in my opinion. Been really, really muscular as a central defender. Great with the ball too, importantly, but he's got the first base covered brilliantly. On Tonic, marking tight, breathing down strikers' necks, intimidating people.
And the Wanderers have some injury worries. Jordan Much not quite right to go tonight. Tate Russell the same. Doran suspended. So there's a few players getting their chances tonight as starters. Risky turn by Bozanic. Gave it up to Mitch Duke, who's got Abini and Muller on the move. Here is Nikolai Muller. And Tonic with the block at the expense of the corner.
Well, Bozanic slipped in the exchange with Duke, and Duke won out, but he probably brought the ball to the wrong part of the pitch in the first place, Ollie Bozanic. It was a double whammy. And it was a really sprightly, springy counter-attack too, but you've got to be better than sprightly and springy to beat Ruan Tonic one-on-one at the moment.
Mariners yet to concede from a corner this season. Whipped in towards Ziggy Gordon, and what a story that would have been if he'd picked out the top corner. It was a very near thing for the Scot.
And it's been a theme of the season. Ziggy Gordon on or about in line with that first post, routinely winning headers from corners. He's scored goals from that sort of range this season. There wouldn't be a coach that hasn't done a video session on Ziggy Gordon from corners, and he still provides.
Ziggy corner
from Gordon. Say that 10 times quickly, Speedy. I only just got it out once.
The one goal he scored this season did come against the Jets, flashing across that near post. Came in from the other side. Bowman in a 50-50 against Wilmering. Played it out off Natter. All of the players pushing across to that side of the pitch. So not a whole lot of room for the Mariners to work with. Simon inventive. It is the Mariners take 2 on the throw. Any firepower on the bench again for Western Sydney. Simon Cox and Bruce Kamau, who was a starter the other night. Also more defensive cover than we're used to seeing. Tas Murdakutis and Daniel Georgievski. And there's also a young man who's yet to make a home debut, Ali Ugla, the scorer of 4 goals in the past 2 NPL games. He's only played 6 minutes in the A-League. That was last season across the ditch in Wellington. Interesting to see whether he gets a run tonight. Here's Aquilina, full of running. Wicked ball in, and Kai Rolls dealt with it expertly.
Yeah, well defended, and it was a nice ball, as you called it, from Aquilina. I just got the feeling, however, he didn't actually like the afterburners in that run forward. It was like a 75% effort with purpose, but he looks like he's got more in the tank. And there was really some space to burn up there from Aquilina. In the end, he hit in a really nice ball.
Troisi's in swinger. Stensner's guarding that near post. And the follow-up work came from Clisby. Duke wins another header. Abini first to react. Muller in the middle. And so too was Kai Rolls. Fans getting into it now as Western Sydney have attack after attack for the first time tonight. Bacchus trying to drive one in. Stensner's got body position and finally eased the pressure on the Central Coast, but only briefly as Natta tidies up. And Tonic with a heavy touch. Here's Muller. Nikolai Muller keeping it low, and Birighitti making it look easy.
Well, it falls into the hands of Birighitti ultimately, but I thought he might have been able to clean up that first through ball inside his box. He looked to hesitate and then decided not to go, which gave the Wanderers this opportunity, culminating in the shot from Nikolai Muller. Comfortable for Birighitti, having a great season. Made that look easy.
Stensner dropping one out to Negro. Lorania running into that space. Trying to get a message across to Negro, but used Bozanic instead. And Aquilina, wonderful defending. Got right in the face of Danny De Silva, and now he tries to go through the gears. Important stretch by Clisby. There's another slip from Duke. Players looking a little uncertain of their footing at times, even though it just looks like a relative carpet out there. It's got the potential to shift underfoot a little after all those rains, as Mark Bosnich identified earlier on. Better signs for Western Sydney, who've provided the first 2 shots of the game. Bacchus quickly out to Wilmering. He's got a beautiful left peg. Troisi right over the top of Bozanic. And Matt Simon comes back to press possession back for the visitors. Down to you again, Bozza.
Yeah, well, Western Sydney Wanderers have had a good last 5 or 6 minutes, seem to have shaken off those early cobwebs or rustiness, if you want to put it like that. And the other thing I think is quite significant, if you watch very closely, especially in these type of situations, see Oliver Bozanic there usually likes to join his 2 centre-backs and start to get the ball out. We see Troisi's very, very close to him, as they realise when he starts conducting play like that, it's very, very dangerous. But much better from Wanderers the last 5 or 6 minutes. And obviously during this COVID time, there's something to take into consideration. With the crowd on side and it starts to get you going, it's amazing the momentum that it can start to create. We've seen that before, funny enough, at Central Coast with the Mariners.
Again, Urania trying to coach Negro. Received and able to turn the Costa Rican. Danny De Silva on the move. What a ball for Matt Simon! Beautiful! The Central Coast on top of the ladder and on top at Bank West. And the combination between Urania and Matty Simon bears some more fruit. What about the finish from the veteran?
But what about the pass from Urania, whose decision, I think, was helped by the narrowness of the supporting run from Danny De Silva. Look at De Silva now, just through the centre circle. Rather than getting on the outside of Aquilina, he forced almost Urania to go the other way. No space, but he finds it magnificently. And we wondered about the Costa Rican's legs. Could he get some dynamism and power? Well, can he what? He burnt through the midfield and he weighted the pass to Matt Simon just perfectly. And the Matty Simon finish was unerring. What a super goal from the Mariners, and what a player, Marco Ureña.
He joins Alo Kuol and his teammate, the super sub, with 7 goals this season, Matty Simon, turning back the clock. So easy on the eye as they got that back 3/5 of the Wanderers totally out of shape and exploited the space to perfection. That's 4 in his past 5 against Western Sydney for Matty Simon.
And what a partnership that's developing. The 2 senior statesmen. With the congestion of games too, there'd be a lot of expectation, I guess, that one or both might need a spell at some point. And of course, they're holding off Alo Kuol on the bench, who is desperate for more game time, has been completely dynamic with his contributions otherwise. But what a super goal. They're a good team, and they're on the top of the table for very, very good reason.
What about the Mariners fans standing to applaud down the other end of the ground here at Bankwest, but in off the underside of the crossbar, if you don't mind, from Matty Simon. What about the ball out from Birighitti, right onto the chest of De Silva. Bowman, awkward for Margush. Ureña with a header from 25 metres out. That would have been a world record nearly if that had found its way home. Didn't quite have enough meat on it. And De Silva goes down, and Chris Beef blows the whistle. Now, talk about the advantage. I don't think it was going to be there because Aquilina stopped with the whistle.
Well, give it another half second to make sure, Speedy. The pass definitely from De Silva looked overhit. Margush had committed and then almost got himself in knots. Aquilina may well have played the whistle, but it doesn't hurt to make sure with a millisecond of delay from the ref to blow the whistle.
He's ref 200 games. Bozanic, back post, and Mitch Duke gives up the corner.
Very important header from Mitch Duke. Matt Simon was bearing in behind him. Great period for Central Coast. Started the dominant team. Wanderers found some good pressing and some good possession and had the first couple of shots over a 5 to 10 minute period. But back in their box, they've been put. That wonderful goal from the Central Coast Mariners, and the more pressure now from the visitors.
Their end swinger low for Bacchus to stoop and clear. And they'll take their time, get their shape back before taking the throw. Very disciplined team this season. And they have scored 26 goals now this season. Game number 16 for them. They scored 26 last season in the entire campaign at a goal a game. This time around they're going at 1.7 per game. Simon tried to link up with Ureña. Now he might. And blocked by Natta. Follow-up work from Negro. Chance! Bowman! Kept out by Margush. It probably should be 2-0 Central Coast.
Incredible. Incredible, Margush. The ball just sat there, not once and probably 3 times. The Wanderers couldn't get it away, but that's not because they were sloppy in defence. They were scrambling as hard as they could, but the Mariners weren't giving it up. And in the end, it was Margush from close range to see off the danger.
Bacchus felled by Toniek, who in game number 50 will receive an obvious yellow card. A bit going on in the last 10 minutes, Bozza.
That it is, and what a fantastic save from Daniel Margush. That's kept the Western Sydney Wanderers in this game, as we see the booking there for Ruan Toniek. But a fabulous goal from Central Coast Mariners, coming straight after Western Sydney Wanderers' best little period that they had in the game, and just goes to show as well. And we'll let this go.
Yep, De Silva getting the better of Gordon. Still going Danny De Silva, and earns the goal kick in the end as Ziggy Gordon somehow plays it out off the number 10.
Super defending. Danny De Silva doesn't even appeal or complain. Great defending in the end, but sloppy from the Wanderers to allow such an attack from Danny Da Silva. Again, it's another turnover. Mariners can settle, look to play forward, and maintain their stranglehold on the game so far.
Sorry, boys, just coming back to when you spoke about there's a reason why Central Coast Mariners are top of the table. We know about all the obvious reasons, but they also play a very, very smart way. So at the beginning, for the first 10-15 minutes, as we said, a lot of the attacks, especially from the two strikers, come out wide. So to either side of those two central backs, they made those runs in behind. Then all of a sudden, Urania changes, comes inside, turns and runs with us, and that run by Da Silva was absolutely exceptional, and the finish from Matt Simon.
Muller thought he might have been blocked off there by Toniek. Bacchus appealed on his behalf, but the Mariners have it back once more. Stensness drops back to provide the pass to Clisby. Bozanic being put under pressure by Troisi again. Forced back to Birighitti. McGowan a long way from home. Won it back for the hosts, and Wilmering takes off. Look at Matt Simon's determination to get there, and he poked it away cleanly. In years gone by, that might have been a Matty Simon clatter job, but this season he's winning back possession cleanly more often than not.
And then very smartly winning the free kick. Asking for a yellow card, wasn't going to be one coming. It was a great chase back.
Urania's on the move, and Kai Rolls has spotted him. McGowan getting across, left it behind though for the Costa Rican. Just missed the mark with Da Silva.
Missed the mark, Speedy, but see that variation? There he is again, going into the channel, and then he comes short, hoping, like he did for the goal, that the Wanderers' three centre-backs won't come with him. Very, very smart play from the Mariners.
Wilmering, the outlet again. Back to Bacchus. Look at all this space to push on into. Troisi does that. Lifted out to Aquilina. Numbers in the box. Just too much on it for Duke, and there's an offside flag up against Western Sydney. A little earlier in the move.
Well, the Wanderers have had decent intensity without the ball, and Bozza talked us through the Urania move inside and the turn and chase. I think the fact that he could make so much ground up on McGowan and then bump him out of the way is also telling. And you wonder, even if at this early stage, if the 1 day less of recuperation is already telling on some of the Wanderers players. We're just 30 minutes into this one, but if it's a factor now, you can imagine that becoming a bigger discussion point as the game goes on.
And psychologically, the Mariners know they can put everything into tonight. They've got an 11-day break after this before heading to Tasmania to take on Western United, while the Wanderers are back in action on Saturday night in Adelaide. Another great stretch by Negro there. Stopped a promising attack that Muller was trying to prompt, and Da Silva, beautiful control in amongst a couple of Wanderers. McGowan's header for Bacchus. Troisi puts it out in front of Wilmering, who's got Duke down the line. And Negro in the road.
Once again, just underline the point. This time short into one of their strikers who had come all the way. So you leave the centre-backs, and Harps will tell you this as an ex-striker, in two minds. Is he going to go in behind? Are they going to go down the side in the channel for us? Is he going to come short? If he goes short, do I go all the way with him? A lot more to this Mariner side that meets the eye. Hence why top of the table, and deservedly so.
Again, Lorena the target. Brilliant ball from Clisby. Trying to cut it back towards Bowman, who's never scored an A-League goal. He had that wonderful chance about 8 minutes ago now.
Well, beaten pointless, the ball over the top. And again, Lorena has found his legs. Geez, they've got him into match readiness well. He had the 2-week quarantine, took a while to even be available. You'll remember at the start of the season, they were having to win their games without him. And then he was drip-fed into the team, and I can only repeat, I, for one, did wonder if he had the legs to make an impact. Certainly was always convinced about his football quality.
De Silva towards Tonic, who climbed, just skimmed off his head. Difficult to control, but he tried to get on the end of things for his second A-League goal.
He has a good lead. He's quite time it properly out to the back, and again, the fact that he was allowed that much space simply by checking out, I think with you're asking for trouble. He's a mountainous man and very, very strong in the air. You don't want to be giving him any latitude at all.
Well, that goal earlier was only the 10th that the Wanderers have conceded from general play this season. They've conceded more than that from set pieces, including a fair few corners, penalties and free kicks. Natta tidy again. Bacchus likewise. Had no one to go to down the line, so had to check back and use those behind him. The front three are so close together as we look at that live ladder. The Mariners poised to go 5 points clear at the top. And the Wanderers, with those 16 games played, would be on 23 points, but it can all change, of course, in the next hour or so. Troisi, decent effort.
Finish with a shot on goal. A nice clean strike like that is always good for the team's confidence. It builds the bricks of confidence to get a move going from one end to the other and finish with a nice clean strike on goal. So that's very positive for the Wanderers, but it gives them a foundation, and that's pretty much it at this point, because the Mariners are just looking so good, and Birigitti's distribution tonight has been 100% perfect.
They can let this one go all the way through to Margush. Every goalkeeper in modern football works so hard on that distribution element, the ball at feet and all that. Margush can pick this one up.
That's a pity. Bowman showed way too much of that. He had such a big advantage. Ball fed to him by Lorena. He didn't protect the opportunity. Look at that from Tonic again.
How many defenders are winning aerial duels against Mitch Duke this season? Not many, but Tonic did there emphatically. And there would have been times when maybe he thought, I'm not going to get to 50 A-League games, but he does now, and ready to become a permanent fixture. Even that little flick off Lorena worked for Clisby. Played for a handful of clubs in his A-League career, Ruan Tonic, but finding a home on the Central Coast. With Aquilina at his back. Bozanic will go to Negro via Tonic. Bowman trying to make that run in behind Natta. Just having a little glance over his shoulder under no pressure. Mabini. Bacchus punches one out to Wilmering. Duke wants an early ball in. Muller dropping off that front line. Mariners almost defending with a back five at the moment, with Bowman forced all the way back defensively. Duke worked an angle to Troisi. Lovely turn away from Bozanic, and he's in a shooting mood tonight, James Troisi.
Yeah, well, probably confident from his last effort, but that was not the option. Wilmering was beautifully positioned on the edge, the left edge of the penalty area. Look at this, as Duke does really well. So does Troisi to make the space. And look at that outside of the left foot, pass through to Wilmering. Of course, if he scores a bomb from there, you just dip your lid and say, well done, James Troisi. But the fact is, he didn't hit the ball well, and Wilmering was in a brilliant position.
2 goals and 3 assists this season for James Troisi. And Wilmering has shown that he can finish on that left foot of his. Beautiful goal earlier this season, his first in the A-League. At that same end. There's Bowman, Natta at his back. The RBB are providing most of the noise at the moment. Can their team respond? Out for the throw-in of Wilmering.
Good save in the end, because that one was gone for a goal kick, but Negro wasn't letting it die. And he keeps the ball in Mariners' hands, literally, for the restart.
Natta again. Tonic from a wide area, helped on by Bowman. Gordon's header, and helped on by Abini. Tonic getting across. Nikolai Muller trying to shield it. Negro nearly turned into trouble. In fact, he has. And Tonic, who's on that yellow card, had to time that challenge, and did.
He backed himself in and won it very strongly.
Gordon thought he was trodden on by Orenia after reaching for that one. Chris Beath happy to say play on.
I'll be thinking, gentlemen, that Carl Robinson will be desperate to get these boys of his in at halftime just at 1-0. Because they need an injection of something. It's far too easy for the Mariners right now. And you mentioned before about the RBB providing the noise and the energy. That's what they need. A whole lot more of new energy in that second half. They made 4 changes tonight. And if this continues like it's continuing, if I was Carl Robinson, I'd be thinking about making changes either at halftime or very early in the second half. Only good point right now is that they're only way on 1-0.
Yeah, Dorrans is so important to them. Misses again through suspension tonight after picking up an 8th yellow card. The most his teammates have received is 3 for Bacchus. So Troisi alongside Bacchus in central midfield tonight. Jordan O'Doherty is someone who can provide energy in that part of the pitch. He's among the substitutes. And then you've got the attackers like Kamau and Cox and Ugla. Here go the Central Coast again. De Silva can turn. Options are plenty. Bounces it off Orenia, and this will ricochet to Negro where it might have gone initially from De Silva. Bowman. Margush trying to prevent the corner, did so. Bowman appeals to the assistant, saying that was across the line.
But as with the Troisi shot that I believe should have been sprayed left to Wilmering, so too then from Danny De Silva. On the one hand, it's great that players back themselves to shoot from distance and have a go can be very exciting. But you get your head up and you see a player in space in front of the goal in a good attacking position should be fed. It shouldn't have taken, the way I was watching it, it shouldn't have taken the deflection to get out to Negro. He has got great vision, Danny Da Silva. He didn't employ it on that occasion.
He's also scored a couple of goals from that range, of course, that he took the strike on from, so confidence levels are up on that front. 3 goals this season. A couple of absolute crackers. Natta, such a confident kid, the 18-year-old. Troisi looking for that diagonal to Aquilina. Really clever header to his own advantage. And in the end, Da Silva won that little battle.
It was a good ball. Aquilina brought it down well, but he was immediately under pressure from Danny Da Silva. You just don't get a second to rest against the Mariners. Indeed, any team that's leading a comp or close to the top, or any team that's in the middle of a good run, almost universally, one of the reasons they're doing it is because without the ball, the team is sharp and hungry and they close down with vigour.
Da Silva again, attending to his defensive duties, and a risky pass, but found the mark in Bowman. Urania is on the move again. It was tough for Negro to try and release him. The Mariners, the scoreline in their favour, approaching half-time. The brilliant link-up between the Costa Rican and the Olympian in Matty Simon from way back in 2008. Bowman in amongst 5 or 6 Western Sydney Wanderers. Bacchus with strength. Left Urania in his wake. Bozanic tried to trip Bacchus, who rode through that challenge. Terrific play by the midfielder, and now Urbini is around Clisby. He can go back to Bacchus here if he wants to. And a better read by Rolls ahead of Duke in the middle. Bouncing ball for Ziggy Gordon as we enter that 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Again, they back off Keanu. Aquilina, space to deliver, and all the way through as Duke made that near post run. Wilmering lifts one. Out comes Birighitti. Troisi trying to lift it back in, and not enough on it to test Birighitti with the follow-up.
2 good crosses in succession from their young fullbacks. Aquilina's was a beauty, tailor-made, exactly what you want. Fired it in from the right, then no one could get it from the Wanderers. So Wilmering offered his bit into the danger zone, and Birighitti's punch was not convincing.
He's had some chances, James Troisi, but at the break, the Wanderers are drawing a blank, and the Mariners in front, trying to go 5 points clear at the top of the A-League ladder. No wonder there's a massive turnout in the visitors area here at Bank West. The Central Coast 1, the Wanderers 0. Can they keep it going in the second half, or can the Wanderers turn it around? Matt Simon is tonight's goal scorer, and he's with Bozza.
Thank you very much, Brenton. Matty Simon, fantastic goal. Had that in your mind, or did the goalkeeper make your mind up for you by going down?
Yeah, look, he come out pretty early. I got my head up, and I saw last week he come in like that, so I kind of had it in my mind there.
Just like that, eh? Another fantastic first half performance, and the way that you and Marcos Urania work together, that's coming on more and more each week.
Yeah, look, Marco's a fantastic player. I think everyone can see the calibre that he possesses, and he's getting fitter and stronger every week, and you know that's only going to be better for us as the season goes on.
All right, go in for half-time. Listen to what your manager's got to say for yourself.
Cheers, Bozza. Good to see you.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here at Bankwest Stadium, the league leaders, Central Coast Mariners 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. We'll be back after the break with Andy Harper and myself to discuss all the first half events.
the captain and the coach, Wayne Bennett and Kevin Walters.
Yeah, it's the Master v the Apprentice here. My goodness, isn't the stage set? What a match of football. The matchup, the two big guns. Sensational. It's outrageous. Wow. Oh, my goodness! What a try! Oh, this is sensational on Fox League.
So if you're starting your project, you can always pop into Bunnings. We definitely make DIY easier for anyone from the beginner all the way to the expert.
So you can tackle those projects. The thing you thought might be a little too hard, we can show you how to do it.
Most of the customers that come in here, it is about home improvement and it is a personal journey for a lot of customers, so it's great to be a part of that journey with them. You get a lot of great satisfaction out of seeing them achieve their goals.
Start setting your own goals for your own DIY projects at home.
Right now, trade in an eligible phone for the new Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and get yours from just $17 a month. That's a huge saving of up to $1,270. Rule more with Vodafone 5G and Samsung today. You rule with Vodafone.
I'll go grab the Northerns.
I'll get them, eh?
No need to fight, boys.
Great Northern Brewing Co. is giving away BCF vouchers in every specially marked case. With a voucher in every case, who wouldn't want to buy the beers? Go in store and get yours today.
So many things can change in 12 weeks. One of the least to change, the vibrancy of your hair colour. Tresemme Colour Shine Flex. Sulphate free. Keeps colour more vibrant for up to 12 weeks. Hair defined by Tresemme. The rest is defined by you.
Discover a new level of luxury at the King Living sale. Save up to 50% on the best in Australian furniture design. Why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King?
My dentist cleans with a round head. So does my Oral-B IO. My dentist personalises my cleaning. So does my IO. My dentist uses just the right pressure. And so does my IO.
Introducing Oral-B IO. IO technology combines micro-vibrating bristles with Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head.
My mouth says wow. And so does my IO.
Oral-B, #1 brand used by dentists worldwide.
Real love is taking leaps of faith, being honest with each other, and saying yes to great ideas. eHarmony, here for real love.
Washed your hands a lot today?
Probably like 40 times.
Hands feel dry?
Like sandpaper.
Introducing new Dove Hand Wash with 3 times moisturiser blend. Removes germs in seconds, moisturizes for hours.
Soft, smooth.
New Dove Hand Wash.
It's time for a new set of